Hey everybody, this is Aaron Hilliard for Mushroom Wonderland. I'm here with Aaliyah and we're going to be doing a little camp out on some family property. And there are some mushrooms and some forageables coming up right now, like mica caps and nettles. So we're going to go pick some mica caps and we are going to make a little soup and try it out. You ready?
Welcome to Mushroom Wonderland.
So growing right over here in the grass. Oh, they're getting a little bit old, but these guys are called mica caps or Coprinellus micaceus, and you can see here's a young one, and it's one of the inky caps. So they have a black spore print and they kind of turn into black ink when they get old. You can see some right there that have turned into ink, but these younger ones are good in like soup. They're not very substantial mushroom, but oh look, we got some other young ones here, and so you can harvest them just by easily kind of pinching them off, and they grow in these big clusters. There's buried wood right here, dead wood that the mushrooms are growing on, and so we're going to harvest some of these younger ones, and they don't hold up too well like if you were to saute them, but to go into a soup they're supposedly perfect. So let's harvest some of these and we're going to make some mica cap soup. Okay, there we go. The mushrooms, and so if they're too black like this one, it's probably no good. Yeah. But that's fine. I think that's fine. And so when they're at this stage, they might look pretty old, but this is actually just a couple days old. They actually deliquesce relatively young. So this age is still good. Yeah, there's a little baby pin. It's a tiny one coming up, and this is what it would look like 2 days later. So these are still okay to eat. And you can easily just snap them off or use a sharp, dangerous knife like Aaliyah prefers.
And say hi to the fishies. That grandma.
That's a really young one. That's perfect. Okay. All right, so we got our mushrooms, and then this is going to be the other part of the soup. And these are stinging nettles. If you touch the top of the leaf, it doesn't sting you. But the branches have these little tiny thorns that have this poison in them that will irritate your skin.
What are you doing, Gunner?
And so these are defending themselves because they are a valuable plant. They're really, really high in vitamins and a really good green. Once they're blanched or cooked at all, they lose their stinging qualities. So we're just going to pinch some of these really fresh young tips, put them in the basket with the mushrooms that we found, and then go make a little bit of soup. So I'm harvesting just the tips of the nettles. Some people say this is good for sustainability, but there are so many nettles in this area, and a lot of them are going to cook down to nothing. So I'm just going to get some of these fresh young tips and then cook them into our soup with our mushrooms. So we have fresh nettle and mica caps to make an amazing foraged soup. So I'm going to set the nettles aside for just a second, but definitely enough to add some flavor for just a couple of servings. I'm going to start by dicing up a little bit of onion really thin. And I'm going to cut up a little bit of garlic, like 1 clove of garlic. A little pat of butter, and we're going to sweat some onions and garlic. Okay, now we're going to add our mushrooms. We could just basically just dump the basket right in there, and we're going to just sweat all this stuff together. It doesn't really have to be caramelized. The mushrooms will put off quite a bit of water. All right, we're going to stir this all up, and you can see that black kind of ink coloring the butter there, that dark color. Yeah. They actually have used this ink to write messages, secret messages and stuff. And back in World War II, they would sign documents with this kind of ink, and so they could put it under the microscope and see the spores and know that it was authentic. How cool is that? All right, now I'm going to add in this nettle. And you want to do this probably with the glove on, but I'll just add it right in there, let that heat kind of start to wilt them. We're gonna add a little water. There's a cold March wind blowing out here, so I set the pot right down into the coals to get this thing cooking. So I'm gonna kind of chop the nettle leaves up a little bit. So she's got a little bit of beef stock here. We're gonna add that to it just for a little bit of flavor. You don't have to, or you could add a little vegetable stock. So I'm gonna put that right in there and we'll let it dissolve in there. Add a little bit of salt and pepper to the mix. And the inky cap really kind of made it dark colored. I think just a little bit more salt, but it just really enhances everything. All right, we got the nettle and mica cap stew. Me and my mom are gonna try it out here for Mushroom Wonderland, our March foraged stew. Look at that.
Smells wonderful.
Mushrooms, nettles. Here.
Yum.
Oh man.
That's nice. It's cold out here, so this is good.
Really good. The soup she foraged. What do you think?
It's good.
It's good, even for a kid, huh? Look at that, big chunk of mushroom and nettle. Never been a prouder dad than right now.
So, you can
Because
sip
it's
the
yummy.
juice out of the bowl.
Where's more market? Oh.
She likes the mushrooms, huh?
Wonderful
Awesome.
mushroom soup.
That was really good. Keep an eye out for more foraging and cooking videos this year. Thanks for joining us on this episode of Mushroom Wonderland. Make sure to hit subscribe. All right.
Dinner.
Yeah. Much love.